welcome to Nutrition Therapy by Lucy. This is a channel where we talk about food, good nutrition, and health. Thank you for your support, for always watching my videos, liking, leaving a comment, and also for subscribing to this channel, Nutrition Therapy by Lucy. But if you're here for the first time, please make sure you hit on that subscribe button, the red button. So today I'm going to answer some of the baby feeding questions I got on my various social media questions. And direct to the questions, someone asked me, how should one prepare baby's porridge? There is not that big formula for preparing the porridge because we have some pre-cooked uji flour or the porridge flour, and we have the common porridge flour. But what maybe I can say, when you are preparing the uji or the porridge, avoid adding milk. I know it's a common way of preparing uji, but I would advise, please do not add any milk, especially the cow's milk or any other milk, because the milk will hinder the absorption of various nutrients that are present in the milk, in the porridge. So just cook your porridge as per the instruction, but do not add milk. If you want maybe to sweeten your uji, you can add a fruit. Again, let us avoid or limit adding of the sugar, the added sugars. You can always do natural way of sweetening your uji. I have done various videos on how you can sweeten your baby's porridge. You can sweeten it with an egg and a ripe banana, any sweet fruit. That's how you can be able to sweeten your uji. And also maybe for the porridge flour or the flour, avoid the hard cereal porridge flour or the flour. This is because the maximum time of cooking porridge, most of us, we cook our porridge within 15 minutes. The porridge is always ready. So avoid buying or going for those hard cereals, things like the groundnuts, njahe, all those hard cereals, because the porridge you are preparing it with 15 minutes. But these cereals, the hard cereals, they take almost an hour or even 2 before they get ready. So you can imagine when you have such porridge flour, that means you'll be giving your baby undercooked flour porridge. So it's always good to go for the simple, or for the simple porridge cereals, things like the millet, the sorghum, all those. But for the hard cereals, please, it's not always good to give the baby, because the 15 minutes of cooking the uji is not enough to make the hard cereals to be well cooked. So for the porridge, avoid adding milk. Sweeten it with natural product, things like a fruit. And the third, please avoid hard porridge cereals. I think I have answered that question well. Another question I got is, when is the right time to introduce cow's milk? I know some of us, we introduce cow's milk immediately we complement or we wean our babies. But cow's milk is recommended at 1 year. This is because cow's milk, it interferes with absorption of many minerals or the nutrients. Things like the iron, mostly affected by the cow's milk. So it's always good, because at 1 year, again, the baby they have that diverse of eating. So the baby will be able to compensate the nutrients with a wide range of food that the baby is eating, because at 1 year, the baby can eat all the foods from all the 5 food groups. So to introduce the cow's milk, please do it at 1 year. And also, the cow's milk, it is low in iron. Low in iron, vitamin C, compared to the breast milk. So maziwa ya ng'ombe or any other milk, the camel's milk, all those milk, please let us introduce at 1 year. And then I got this question, or maybe I can mention, at 1 year, when you're introducing the cow's milk, please give whole milk. Don't go for the skimmed or the low-fat milk, because again, your baby needs all the fat content, all the proteins that are present in the milk for good brain development. So if you're using skimmed milk, use it for yourself. But for the baby, please give whole milk with all the content that comes with milk. It is good for the brain's development, the baby to get all the calcium, the vitamin D, and all those. Then again, pasteurized milk is better compared to the fresh milk. It's kind of a contradiction, but during the process of the pasteurization, it is possible to kill all the bacteria present in milk. And by boiling, it is not possible to kill all the bacteria or to get rid of all the bacteria. So at least the pasteurized milk is safer compared to just maybe milk direct from the cow and just boiling. So for the milk at 1 year, after introducing it, make sure you give whole milk, and if you can, and pasteurized is always good compared to any other milk. Then I got this other question. What is the best way of preparing baby's food? Then boiling or frying? What I can say about this, just boil what need to be boiled and fry, or steam what need to be steamed, but don't always boil baby's food. Ati unarusha viazi, matoke, mamboga hapo, then you boil. You've not added any cooking oil, no salt, the food is just bland. And that's one reason why there is too much food refusal in our baby. So boil what need to be boiled, things like the sweet potatoes, what need to be boiled. But for cooking, it's always good to fry the food to increase the palatability of the food. So use healthy cooking oil like the olive oil. It's always good, you can use it. Then less salt, because again, you don't want to overload the baby's. Remember, the baby's kidneys are still developing, so you don't to overload the kidneys. So use less salt and healthy cooking oil. But for the boiling, tusikuwe tunachemshia watoto, yani kila kitu nakula ni chemsha. It's always good to increase the palatability of the food. Then there is someone who said, please give advice on vegetable avoidant. When it comes to vegetables, as a parent, I have seen this, but when it comes to vegetables avoidant, I don't know whether it's the color of the veggies, the green, but if you want to have variety of vegetables to give your baby, at 6 months, introduce as much vegetables as you can. If you have like 10 varieties, 15 varieties, the better, because by the time they are refusing the veggies, at least they reduce to 5. And with 5 different type of veggies, that's you can manage with 5. But if you give only 1 or 2, for example, let's say you're giving only the common veggies that babies are given, things like the spinach, like the terere, let's say you've introduced only those veggies, then your baby refuses all of them. That means that you'll have no veggies to give your baby. But if you introduce a variety, then you may introduce like 10. Sidhani kama kuna mtoto anaweza kata all the 10 veggies. Hata akireduce to 3, the better. At least you have 3 that you can rely on. So for the veggies, give variety, and also you can steam with oil to make them more palatable. See, you can imagine vegetables tu zimechemshwa, hata hakuna salt imewekwa, the way they are bland, they are tasteless. So to increase the palatability, you can steam with healthy oil. Then someone else asked about food refusal, how you can deal with food refusal. It's all the same as veggies. For the food, the mode of cooking, like I've said, ukizoesha kuchemshia mtoto chakula, at some point ata notice hii chakula hainanga taste, ataikataa. So it's always good. The mode of preparation make the food at least appealing. Ata with some tomatoes, you fried it with onion, a pinch of salt, healthy cooking oil, make the food sweet. So that's one way of dealing with food refusal. Making the food, preparing it, the food in an appealing way. Then another way of dealing with food refusal is giving variety. Usipe mtoto leo ndoma, kesho kutwa ndoma, that mtoto atazoea one type of food na itakuwa boring. Even for adults, you can't eat ugali today, tomorrow ugali, the next day ugali. At some point hufika unasikia hata umeboeka na that one type of food. So give variety. And the best way of giving variety or being diverse is having a meal plan for your baby. Sit down with a pen, or if you can't, you can consult me or any other nutritionist and have a meal plan for your baby. So the minute you don't have that meal, those planned meals, itakuwa tu inafika lunch, unafikiria tu matoke. Supper ikifika, matoke. The following day, maybe kuna only two types of food that are always in your mind. But with a meal plan, it is possible for you to have diverse. Utakuta unaangalia timetable, today the baby is supposed to eat some matoke and lentils. The following day, it's ndoma. So with a meal plan, you'll be able to give that diverse food. Then there is this thing, they always give, for example, unaamka, unapikia mtoto chakula. Then the baby takes it for lunch, but anakataa kuikula vizuri. Or maybe even the baby refuses it completely. But supper, unamwambia hata ukatae, hii ndio utakula supper. It's always good when the baby refuses the food, try to give another type of food. Si ati amekataa lunch, unasema hata supper ndio utakula. Kama ulikuwa umempikia ugali, maybe ugali fish, amekataa, jioni you can try to do maybe even rice and peas, rice and lentils. Try to give a different food. And that does not mean that kama mtoto amekataa chakula leo, kesho ataikataa. When you introduce a particular food today and you notice that the baby has no interest in it, you can give it, you can try to ukae kama siku 2-3, then you reintroduce it again. Because again, remember, mtoto ana explore all types of food. Anatafuta whatever fits his or her palate. So what we introduce today, tomorrow might not be the baby might not show the same interest. So try to give one food at a time and reintroducing foods again. That's one way of dealing with food refusal. I think I have answered that question well. Then someone asked, when can I introduce, or is it good to introduce yogurt to your baby? Yes, it is good. One, yogurt has low lactose compared to the whole milk, and also yogurt is loaded with probiotics, which are healthy, or they have healthy bacteria, meaning that the yogurt will help to introduce the healthy bacteria to the intestine. So yogurt, yes, you can introduce it, but make sure it's natural. Natural yogurt with no sugar. It should be sugar-free. If you want to sweeten it, because sometimes the yogurt is sour, you can add a blended fruit, things like a banana, berries, grapes, just to give that sweetness. But for the yogurt, yes, you can introduce it. Make sure it's natural and it's sugar-free. Then, when giving your baby's food, make sure it's well-balanced. By well-balanced, I mean let the baby feed from all the food groups. Let the baby have a carbohydrates, the energy-giving foods. Remember, the babies, they're exploring, they're all over. They need a lot of energy. So make sure the baby's food It has a carbohydrates. These are things like the arrowroot, ndoma, sweet potatoes, ugali, rice, oats, all those energy giving foods. Then make sure the plate has a protein, both animal based and plant based. By the animal based, you can give liver, maini, you can give the minced meat, you can give the chicken, fish, all those. Then the plant based, things like the lentils, green grams, French beans, all that. But give in moderation, not too much protein, because again, the baby's kidneys are developing. You don't to overload them with so much nitrogenous waste. The baby might not be able, the kidneys might not be able to get rid of all this waste. So it's always good to give in moderation. And then there is something that maybe usually do, like introducing the animal proteins too late. Maybe it's the fear, like you find that by the time the baby is introduced to meat, maybe 10 months, 11 months, almost 1 year. But for the meat, you can introduce it as early as possible. Mtoto ukishaanza kumpea chakula at 6 months, you can introduce the minced meat or the animal proteins, because that's where you get the heme iron, the highly absorbable iron. And this is and late introduction of animal proteins, especially the red meat, it can lead to nutritional anemia in a child. So it's always good to always give your baby foods from all the food groups. For the meat, you can do maybe twice or thrice a week. Then I think there is another question. I think I'm done with question. Maybe from in the comment section, you can leave a comment of any question that you have on baby feeding, and I'll be glad to answer. And if I have said something that you've been doing and it's wrong, don't you worry, because parenting is an ending journey of learning. Each day we keep learning a new thing, and some of these mistakes that we make, one is because of lack of information. Too much information, you get confused, you don't know what to do, and sometimes pressure from our surrounding, from the environment. For example, umeenda ushago, unaonekana ukiekea mtoto wako chumvi, frying the food, then maybe your grandma or your mom tells you that is not the right way of preparing baby's food. So you get pressured from the environment. Don't feel bad. Just trust your mother's instincts and do the right. That's all for now. Please leave your thoughts on the comment section. Make sure you give this video a like. Turn on the notification bell so that anytime I upload a video, you get notified. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, Nutrition Therapy by Lucy, for more nutrition counseling, nutrition education, and more nutritional tips. Thank you.